I want y'all to know, working with the youth is awesome. It is really awesome because they help me a lot. They help me a lot in life, and they help me a lot with just understanding. So with meeting on them on last week, I asked them, I asked them, what is a mother? I asked them, what do they think a mother is? And they gave me some definitions of a mother. And they told me, they said, a mother is, I'm going to give you I got some definitions, but I'm going to give you their definition along with what God has given me or what I have found. They let me know that a mother does not have to be someone who birthed you or even someone who may have adopted you. A mother is simply someone who loves you unconditionally and places the needs of her children above her own and her own on a personal level, not just with words, but with actions. A person who raised you to be a good person and not to do trouble things. A person who loves you no matter what kind of mistakes you make. That was their definition, along with some other information that I was given. And the youth, they let you know. And, we think about when it comes to our kids, sometimes we're so busy thinking about what other people think about us as a mother. But the most important thing is, what do our kids think about us as a mother? Really, what do they think? How many of us as mothers, not going to try to be mean to mothers, but I want us all to think, how many of us as mothers really stop and think what our kids think, how they feel? A lot of times we feel like they don't have an opinion. And for real, when it comes to motherhood, their opinion counts more than anybody's. It really does. And we take them for granted. When I was growing up, y'all, my mother's here. But they always just say things, do this. Why? Because I said so. Because I said so. And this is not on my paper, so I'm going to have to get back to it. But because I said so, but what really does that mean? Are we really being fair to our kids when we say because I said so and do not give them an explanation? First of all, we are not preparing them to be a mother or to be a good parent. Because we're not, Mom, you did good, okay? but we're not preparing them because we're not teaching them. Because I said so, yeah, we can say it, but what are we teaching them? What are we really teaching them because I said so? Not trying to be mean to them, and I'm guilty of it myself, especially with training the good God. I'm guilty. But sometimes I have to stop and think as a mother and say, am I helping her by saying because I said so? Am I teaching her because I said so? I can say, Trinity, it's because of this, 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 and that. And if you don't do this, this may happen. That's a good mother. That's a good parent. That's a good person. And as the youth say, that's someone who is important into our life. Let's think about that. Our kids mean more to, their opinion is the most important opinion in the world. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to go through, I'm pointing out, spotlight some different mothers in the Bible. And we know, some of y'all know a lot of different mothers in the Bible. And a lot of them have different personalities. They have different characters. Some of us can identify and say, oh, wow, I want to be like that one. I like what she did. And some of us say, well, how in the world did she do that? Or why did she do that? And some of the things we think about what they go through. The first mother I'm going to talk about is Eve. Eve was a mother who had to go through pain and suffering because what happened? She had one son to kill another. Imagine that. Imagine going through a situation where one of your child murders the other. You think it don't hurt? It would. Our kids can bump their toe and we hurt. I know I do. We hurt because they done broke their arm, fell off their bike. So how do you imagine going through and your son, one son has killed the other son? It's a lot of grieving there. You see one son and you think about the other and you look at that one son and say, you're the reason why my other son is not here. But yet you're a mother to that son. And you're still called to do what? Love him, take care of them no matter what mistakes they make. That's what motherhood does. That's what God placed in us as women, not just mothers, as women, as emotional people. It happens. Good gracious, who is that? And and then with Eve, and imagine what Eve was saying. Eve probably said, where did I go wrong? How many of us parents, when our kids do something, we say, what did I do wrong? And guess what, you guys? A lot of times we did something wrong, whether we want to admit it or not. We did something wrong or we just didn't do something right. But we don't want to admit it because we're easy. And I hate when people say this all the time. They say, well, girl, you did the best you can do. Did you? Did you really? Some of us do. A lot of us do. But did you really do the best you can do when your child is at home and you're to the club? Are we really doing the best they can do? And they're crying as we walk out the door. Mommy, don't go. Mommy, why? They even do it when you go to work sometime. Mommy, don't go. Don't do it. I don't want you to go. But we do it anyway. Because why? It's about us at this time. Not saying we can't be about us, but are we really doing as mothers, even as parents, are we really doing the best that we can do? And then when kids grow up and we make mistakes, I've done it. I make mistakes, and my kids are going to make mistakes because we're not all perfect. But when we say, are we really saying a cliche, where we say, I did the best that I can do, but you know it in your heart? Because your kids will tell it. They tell it now, you guys. My mom really don't talk to me. My mom talk at me, not to me or with me. Y'all can only imagine. They say it. Or my mama don't care. Curfew. I don't have a curfew. We read a story in class about mean mothers. Which some of you, do y'all remember the story about mean mothers? We read that. And they realized, and I told them, in this story, the mothers wasn't mean. They were good mothers. But the kids thought they was mean because the mothers wanted to know, where you going? What's your friend name? Oh, they're not going to just blow the horn at my house. They're going to come in and meet me. But, Mom, that's not a mean mother. That's a mother who cares. How many of us do that today? Don't raise your hand. Because a lot of us don't. I'm not saying here, but there's a lot of parents who do not check out their friends' friends. They let them go with anybody. They're not giving them a curfew. That's what I say. It ain't going to happen with us. I'm sorry, you guys. Call me a mean mother. But what I'm saying in this essence is that we as mothers, are we really doing what we said we can do? It's one of my youth in the class. I ain't going to call her name. But she always talk about, my mom is mean. Y'all just don't know. I said, no, baby. Your mother's not mean. Your mother's trying to make sure that you don't get away with some of the things that she may have gotten away with. Because she knows you. Where's she at? I don't even think she's here today. But I said, your mother knows you. I said, your mother knows you. And that's a lot of things. We as mother, we're all supposed to know our kids. We're supposed to know those that we raise, adopt, or even just those we take in as our own. I have kids that I have taken in as my own, not just my stepkids, but other kids. I don't have stepkids. But I know them. If someone come and tell me something about them, I'm like, they didn't do that. Someone come and tell me something about Journey, oh yeah, Journey may have done, because I know Journey. I have Journey. I have had Journey in daycare, so I know Journey. But those are kids that we take in as our own, and we learn, we know them, we develop that relationship with them. But I'm going to go on a little bit because I'm off this paper. Don't know how I did that. But we're going to talk about Sarah. Sarah was a mother who was waiting on a promise. We know the story of Sarah. She had a child in her old age. How do you think Sarah felt? She went through life waiting on a promise for God. She didn't mind waiting. She didn't mind waiting for the promise from God because she knew God promised it. It's going to happen. Yes, she laughed. Yes, she doubted. But at the end, she still kept waiting. And she had Isaac. But through that time, she had to wait and she had to watch other kids grow up. She saw grandkids come about. But because of that promise from God, she waited on him. And as a woman who waited, she just wasn't a weak woman, a weak mother who waited. She had to stand strong beside Abraham. She had to stand strong with what God told Abraham to do. She was there with him, standing strong. God, I'm with Abraham. I'm with Pastor, all that he's doing. And I'm standing strong because you promised me something too. That's an example of a mother just waiting on God, being patient. We have Sarah. You can't talk about Sarah without talking about Hagar. We all know what Hagar went through. Hagar had the other son, the one that wasn't the promised child, but he was there. And what happened? They got kicked out of the home, out of the tent. Hagar watched. She was one of those mothers that she wept and she cried unto God because she thought that they was going to just die in the wilderness. But she wept and she cried, and God heard her call, and he came and answered. We have a lot of parents, mothers, who all they can do is cry unto God. God, help me. I need you. I need you. Sometimes we look at that as weakness, but sometimes this is where our strength come in because we know we cannot do it. And we got to get the mindset that we can't be by ourselves. We can't do it by ourselves, no matter what, because we can't control nobody but ourselves. But when we are mothers, we want to do the best thing we can do for our kids. So we cry to God, and we say, Lord, help me. Lord, help me. I remember the other day, Christina told me Destiny was doing something. And Christina looked at me and she said, Lord, y'all pray for me. You see what I'm dealing with? And I'm like, she's just like you. Because she has imparted that into her. No matter what, Destiny is like Christina. Because she has molded that little girl up. And you got your work cut out for you, I do believe. I'm sure if I ask your mother, she'll tell me. You're getting some of the things that she has went through. But she's like, pray for me. And she was real with that because we have to pray for each other because we can't do it by ourselves when it comes to our kids. We really can't. But Hagar was one of those ones she cried out to God. Then we have the mother of Moses. Moses' mother loved him so much, she did what? Put him in a basket to protect his life. But look how good God was, that she was called back to nurse him and raise him because she dared to protect him this way because that's what we do to protect our kids. We do this to protect them this way, and God entrusts us to do other things. That's what happened with Joseph's mother. Then we have Hannah, a mother who prayed so hard that they thought she was drunk. Imagine praying so hard in the temple and that they thought you was thinking you was drunk. She was really praying because she was crying out to God. Mothers, emotional beings, that's what we do. And then there was our best example, I would think, is Mary. Mary was chosen to birth the Son of God. Why I say she was a great example? Because she showed us from birthing Jesus in the manger that it doesn't matter what situation we are in when we give birth. We are to make the most of it and do what we can. A lot of parents don't. They don't understand when you are a mother, you do what you can for your child. You prepare for them. You work 2 jobs if you have to. You do what you can for your child, no matter what the situation. She found swaddling clothes, and she wrapped the baby up. There was animals all around, but she was there, and she did what she could do in the situation. She showed us when her child was left behind in the temple teaching, she showed us not to hinder them from doing the work of the Lord. When they're doing God's work, let them do. We may not understand it. We may look at them just like Pastor did with Olivia, looking, crying. But if that's what God has called her to do, I'm there to support her. Mary showed us at the wedding, from performing the first miracle, to encourage your child to do what's in them. Bring it out of them. Jesus said, it's not yet my time. She told the people, do what he tells you to do. Encourage your child, even when they don't want to do it, even when they don't think they can do it. Encourage them that they can. Do what you got to do. Bring it out of them. And she showed us at the cross, when there's nothing else we can do, stand by them. Support them to the best of your ability, no matter how bad it hurts, and believe that we have done what God has chosen us to do. At the cross, Mary was hurting. She was crying, but she stood by Jesus, and she supported him, and she let him know, I'm with you all the way, because she believed that she was chosen for a reason. And that was her reason. That was her baby on that cross. So Mary has been that example. And she showed us what are we to do when it comes to our young ones, to our kids, to be the best mother she can be. There are different types of mothers in this house today. Trust me, I know they are. I know a lot of y'all, just like y'all know me. And your kids tell it, like I told you earlier. And I have taken the time to explain these mothers because I want you to know that no matter what we go through, we need prayers, just like these mothers did. In closing, in Proverbs 31, it says in 25, she is clothed with strength and dignity. She can laugh at the days to come. She speaks with wisdom, and faithful instruction is on her tongue. She watches over the affairs of her household and does not eat the bread of idols. Her children arise and call her blessed, her husband also. Real mothers are those who are truly confident in their parenting and don't need to look to random strangers for a validation of who they are. The only people who can truly tell you that you are a mother are the kids that you have imparted into, whether you birthed them or raised them, or just simply accepted them into your heart as one of your own. I propose the question, what kind of mother are you?